So, my time has finally come. Yep, I've been wanting to do it right after the previous weekend, which was, the two gatherings and all that. And I stuck around. I ended up sticking around, and now the time has finally come. It couldn't have even come at a better time when my dump has, encountered once again and another air conditioning problem. It was the same air conditioning problem in the same office from last month in the beginning. And, a lot of us were just in shock. And some of us found out why, because of that. The coolant and it, like it was leaking or something like that. I don't know the full story, but for the most part, I thought all of that would have been fixed. But unfortunately, it has not been fixed. And I could have sworn the guys that were working on the roof while the AC was down the last time it happened, which was in the beginning of July, I thought they were able to fix that. But when the tech came in to fix the you know that thermometer or the thermostat, it was working again, right? And after a while, yeah, it was all good, right? And now it's broken again. And it's just one problem after another every time it comes to this dump. Because it's hardly it's about work now. And I've said it before, especially in my blogs, that my dump is always about, it's more about problem solving with all these problems one after another, whether it's internet outage, whether it's up and down on internet issues, or a blackout, or even just printer jams, or and then you just have the AC just not working again. Like, come on, dude, come on. Yeah, I just could not stand this day, man. I mean, I just could not stand the fact that I'm sitting up there again, just knowing that it's warm there. And it's like some people have the fans on, but I don't even get a fan. And some of the guys over there in my aisle are using it. And I wish that Armando could have asked me about, hey, well, you want to use a fan? And nobody around me asked me for a fan, so I don't know what their deal is, you know? But anyways, getting back to this topic, dude, I just can't stand it no more. Me and Mari just argued big time, and she made it clear she's not going to talk to me again for a while. So I made a video on that last time, and I didn't really go into as far as like when or how long this silence will last. But, it is what it is at this point. I'm not going to worry too much. I know that she don't want to hear from me, okay? And honestly, I'm not really too worried about that right now. I know that's my best friend, but, I have bigger things to worry about. And obviously, my mental health is still one of those issues. But, ever since that silence, I just couldn't take it anymore. So, after these 3 straight days have just been like for all of these guys, especially the nutballers and all these group chats, these the ones with a bunch of people in, including the everyone one. It's gotten to a point like I just feel so bad that a lot of these guys have just all of them have seen my worst, and to the point that I even showed a photo of what my backyard is like, and how my home life is. And I had a talk with Neil right as I was driving home, and he said it's much to his shock, he said it was unsanitary. Like, anybody just like I even heard my mom say that. I think one of my uncles or one of my relatives said that, like, just looking at all these junks um, around the house or in the backyard or inside, he said it just gives them a headache or something like that. I even told Neil about that. So, I try my best to keep, to keep my cool, talking to Neil and just trying to stay focused. But I was just way too tired, dude. Just way too tired. I'm at the point where I just can't take it anymore. And after these last couple of days and going into today, like, just feeling what I'm feeling and just totally out of it, especially with the AC down again. Like, I just hate that I'm always having these thoughts that are just lingering over and over about my dump being as stupid as it is. Lots of undisciplinary action, so much unprofessionalism, disorganization, too much favoritism, and to the point that, like, even I don't feel respected enough anymore. To the point where I'm just undervalued. I remember doing a flyer that Anna asked me to do for the Easter egg hunt, and when she was out, like, on that Friday or that Thursday, the day before Easter, nobody notified me about the flyer. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I just let it be. I'm just more and more disrespected in that place, and I'm just seeing Armando just do more stuff, for graphic design, like, just working with Adobe Premiere Pro, and doing stuff for social media. I get that he's working with young systems, but it's like, why can't I get opportunities like that? Oh, because he's the lead graphic designer. Hey, get the fuck out of here with that shit, dude. It's like, and I mean, I get webmaster, but lead graphic designer, that does not make any fucking sense. I mean, we just hardly ever work together, and we hardly ever talk with one another. Ain't no true lead. Are you kidding me? That was Rico. I don't have anything against Armando. He's not a bad dude, but come on, man. Like, this is what happens when you have the same leadership under that goddamn company president. And now with the AC down, it's like apart from the fact that we see Carmen's lights still on, even though she's not there anymore, and you got, like, it's just too much BS I'm seeing. Like, the sales team, just, was it yesterday or the other day, they were like questioning, about Carmen and whether she's coming back or not. It's like, nobody knows a damn thing there, dude. They have to, like, when they talk to the customers, they're like, oh, Carmen's no longer here, and the fact that their lights are on. Even Johnny was like, oh, that's what Mr. Lee wants to keep her lights on, just to make it seem like it's, just to make it seem like what? He's nothing more than a straight client. She's not even there, and she hasn't been there for like 3 weeks, or practically a month, man, and you still keep her lights on? This motherfucker's wasting electricity, dude. This dude's a straight clown, man. That's why I don't have any more respect for him. I don't have any more respect for a place like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I've just lost all objectivity. That's why I cannot take working there seriously anymore. Especially if my pay rate is just too low for a career job like I have as a graphic artist. No, excuse me. I'd rather say graphic designer, even though my role is a quote-unquote graphic artist. I mean, come on, man. Look at all the graphic designers that are applying for a job in a graphic design role elsewhere, where the starting pay, especially for an entry-level job, is $25 an hour or more. You mean to tell me that somebody's going to be applying for my position, well, with how much I'm being paid? Like, it just amazes me how guys like myself and Armando and and even Anna and Jay, like, a lot of these lifers are just still there. It's like they don't want to leave. I'm not one of those many lifers in that camp. I don't like being told that I'm loyal. I'm never gonna be loyal to that goddamn place when there's just too much BS going on. And especially as of just recently, when the other sales team is asking, like, oh yeah, what happened to Carmen? Like, nobody fucking knows what's happened with her. Like nobody ever gets notified of anything. Like, besides myself and Johnny and Carmen, does anyone else know about Tamara's passing? Well, some of these people don't even give a fuck, so who cares about them? They don't give a damn. They're always in their own zone. And what about the will call racks? You know, Jose made a good point that, like, because there are lesser customers, like they'd rather see less witches on the tables. Okay, but so what are they gonna do with those racks then? Dude, everything about that dump is just lots of questions, lots of confusion, lots of just irritation. And I'm just very much more irritated that my mind is already like apart from the fact that it's already been corrupt, it's gotten even more corrupt. It's like I told Neil on the phone or on my way home, like a lot of the stuff that I don't ever mean to say, especially when I post such stuff, it's like now I'm saying it without any shame, especially with the group text incident and all that. I never thought I would talk about birthday money, and now, like, it's like I said, it's gonna become a tradition. And then it's like, I'm just saying a lot of stuff that I hadn't, like, that I have no shame of saying anymore. So, you got guys like Robbie who I now question as far as like if he's still cool with me after the second group text incident. I'm going way off topic here, like, as I'm ranting about my dump again. But let me just continue on with this topic here. Yeah, I am going solo. I've been wanting to do this a long time ago. I've given it so much thought, even after the second group text incident. I've given it so much thought, even on in my few videos that I did the week after the second group text incident. So, I wanted to do it right after the gathering. And, it turns out Robbie wasn't going to go, and then Julio ended up not going because he had to deal with a tough situation, especially with his wife, Jenny. I just hope everything works out well, but the fact of the matter is, I still stuck around, and now all of a sudden all these guys are seeing me in like beast mode. And I went in depth about talking about what Julio said in the group text, like right after the group text incident, the second one, when he said everyone's fed up with me. I made a video about that. And ever since, like, with all these rants that I made, Julio has not been around. And obviously with Robbie, I don't even know if he was the next guy that unsubbed to me. If that was the case, then sucks for me. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm at the point now, like, things are just getting so bad for me. Like, even my, like, when I had my therapy session going on today, like earlier this morning, even my therapist always asks me, how's your week going, this and that. I told him about the one positive thing I did, and we literally spent the whole session on, as it pertains to career counseling, and as it pertains to my job hunting, helping me prepare for, interview questions, like, or just more interview questions pertaining to my career as a graphic designer. There really wasn't enough time, for me to digest on, what transpired, which is on the negative side of things, as it pertains to, my friend circle, and what happened of how I went off on the nutballers about Julio telling me that everyone's fed up with me and all that. So yeah, like, it's just gotten to the point where I just finally have to go solo. It is what it is at this point, and I finally did it. It had to take, these last 3 days, including today, where I just completely went off, like, to the extremes. And with the videos I made about Julio, and saying that everyone's fed up with me, went in depth on that and giving him my further thoughts, right? And then the next one, which is possibly losing Julio and Robbie as a friend, right? The longer this keeps up, I'm talking about this worst version of me, and just all kinds of other things. But a lot of it just spent more on what Julio said, and I just got really irritated that it just seems like nobody really gave a damn. So you know, although Neil did say he disagreed he also disagreed with what Julio said, apart from Mari. It's like the truth still stands. Everyone's still fed up with me. Julio hasn't said a damn thing. If he didn't mean what he said, then he would have let me know. But unfortunately, it is the damn truth. So after all that, it's like a lot of the time was spent, with me and my my excessive rants on, my failure as a friend, and obviously what Julio said. A lot of the time spent was just more on that, and it's just gotten to a point where, dude, it's almost like I was about to create another group text incident, between Russ, Neil, Carlos, Shabazz, and who else I miss, Ray, and it's like after all of this, and after what transpired like today and yesterday, like with the AC problem again, and that's the fact that it's so damn warm up there. It's like I just can't take it anymore, dude. I cannot take it anymore. So I did what I finally needed to do, and that is going in solo mode. Finally going solo. That's right. I put my entire friend circle on hold. Do you want me to be more brutal? In other words, I blocked my entire friend circle again. Now, there was one point in time where I did it for a couple of days, and now we're getting to the middle of August, and I did what I did again. This time, I'm just gonna stay solo for good. For as long as I need my peace, for as long as I need my relaxation, just away from my friend circle, because of all that I've done, these past 3 days, and even prior to this week. And it's just so much over just what happened, and it's because of the fact that my mind is just totally, it's like mentally corrupt every time I'm in that dump, and just don't. I just can't stand it being there. I get what Neil's saying, but I can't, dude. I need to get the hell out of there for real. If I'm gonna take a week off, then I better apply to like 100 jobs, just don't, and hope that I can at least gain 2 or 3 interviews, for that whole week off, so I can take advantage, and maybe when I do get hired, and when I go back to my dump, at least now I can come back in a positive note, knowing that I'm finally going to be able to quit, file a 2-week notice, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't know if I'm really going to do that. I just don't want to, 1 week vacation, 2-week vacation, 1 month vacation. It's just not of my interest anymore, because I really need to get the hell out of there, period. So I got to work on that still. And, as like, even when I ghosted my entire circle, I still had all these problems. And a lot of these problems are as a result of the fact that I'm still in this dump. I'm sorry, but I have to do it. I don't care what anybody thinks at this point. I don't care anymore. I don't care what Carlos thinks. I know he told me don't do it again. Well, guess what? I did it again. Carlos, Abbas, Russ, Neil, Julio, Robbie, it's just I just have to do it, man. I have to. Why even waste my time just continuing to go back, and just for them to continue seeing me in beast mode still. I don't want them seeing me like this anymore. And so I did myself the favor. I know everyone's tired of me. And what did I say before? Like when I was out, like earlier in January, what did I say? I said that, once I get a new job, then I'll definitely come back to my friend circle and reconnect with all of these guys when they finally see me permanently happy and joyous, to the point where they don't got to see me with any signs that I'm at my worst, or just so many bad days like they're seeing in me, through these you know just thinking that, like, it can really help me through with you know it's but I gotta do it, man. I just have to do it. you know I can't take it anymore. I have to go solo because I want to be in peace. And I said it, even in one of the older videos. I think it was a 3-part video, and these guys have limitations toward me. They're not playing with me. And so, you know I said it. I can come back, and I can admit all my wrongdoings. I can apologize and own up to them, right? But in the end, they still saw me at my worst. Like when I reconnected with some of these guys in June, they still saw me at my worst, you know, and even just at the second group text incident. And now I'm at the possibility of losing Robbie as a friend. I hope that's not the case, but it seems like now it's just, you know, as his birthday is coming up pretty soon, you know, I'm gonna look at this as I'm gonna lose an opportunity to celebrate with him, because we're not cool right now. He's not cool with me. I already said I'm sorry for what I said, especially in the group text incident. But right now it's just said scene. So at this point, I really have nothing to prove. You know, hell, I have nothing to prove every time I'm still in that dump. So as of right now, I have nothing to prove for just knowing that my friend circle is just pretty much destroyed. And according to Julio, everyone's fed up with me. Just look at my history of losing so many ex-close friends. Just look at my ex-close friend memorial wall. So it has gotten to that point, and it's the harsh reality I gotta deal with. It's the harsh truth of what Julio said that I gotta deal with, right? So, like I said, they're still gonna see me at my worst, even when I come back to my, even if I'm still working in this dump, compared to when I already have a new job, that they're gonna see me, much in a much better version of me. I could have taken longer out if I had to, just so I know I have more time for myself and to better myself and all that. Because when I reconnected with some of these guys, it's just way too soon, dude. It's too soon. Even when I reconnected with Robbie, and then obviously Dewey and Russ in the later part, these guys are all proud of me that I was getting help. Now all of a sudden, people are just, those same guys are now questioning me. Even to the point now that Robbie's questioning my friendship with him after what happened with the second group text incident. So that's why I need to go solo. It's about time I do so. I should have done it right after the gathering, but I decided to stick around, and now it has come to this. And I'm trying to remember if I hung out with any of the guys prior to, but no, I don't think I did. So it is what it is, man. I need to do this, and I finally did it. I just want my peace away from my friend circle. Not that I have any disrespect for the guys that that are in my group chats and in my friend circle still, but I have to do it. Guys like Carlos, guys like Boss and Julio and Ray, and Russ, Dewey. I'm sorry, man. I know at some point I don't even know if these guys are gonna check because they're probably busy with other things, but I mean, I'm not really gonna worry because they got their own thing. Carlos is pretty much doing his own thing, and Julio and Robbie are doing their own thing. So it's like I'm not even worried at the slightest anymore. I'm gonna go for solo for as long as I could until further notice, and which in this case it really means getting a new job. So, you know, who knows what my focus will be like tomorrow, especially with no AC. It's just gotten to a point, man, that I think I gotta start, utilizing just myself a whole lot more. I gotta take advantage more of my job hunting, and that's all I gotta do. I need it because that's the one goal I need. And once I do get a new job, then I can definitely go back to my friend circle. But in the meantime, I just have to completely black out everyone from me. Again, no disrespect to them, but I just have to do this for my own good. More likely than not, I'm gonna miss out on Robbie's birthday because if he decides to celebrate with some of the nut ballers, then I won't be a part of it because he's not cool with me right now after the second group text incident. So I said it before. I'm gonna give him all the space that he needs. And after what Julio said, I know we talked shortly after, but I still have talked to some of the guys like Russ and Neil, and even Dewey. But yeah, dude, I'm done stressing out over my friendship issues. I'm done stressing out over my friend circle. I'm just done, and I'm at the point where I just need to do this, and now I'm finally getting to do it. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks at this point. If I pissed off some of these guys, too bad. Especially guys like Carlos. So let them notice, because I'm sending a message to them and to myself. To them as far as letting them know that I need to find my permanent happiness, which means in a new job, to say the least, a new job, which eventually will lead to finding my permanent space, right? So I gotta do this, man. I need to just, I have to just continue to focus on myself. Just no exceptions at this point. So I gotta keep doing what I'm doing. It's just for the best. I finally did it. It's about time I did it. I'm glad I did it. I should be proud because I don't want to deal with anyone right now. I really don't want to deal with anyone. I don't want to ask questions about, how they are or how they, what are they doing about, certain things that irritate me. I just need to just deal with myself. So I'm finally going on solo mode. I should have done it right after the gathering, but once again I stuck around. But now I really need to do it because it's just for my own good. And I'm gonna, I won't have a timetable for my return, so I'm gonna go through this as much as I can. If it has to be for the entire month of August or for the rest of the month, so be it. I would hate to miss Dewey's birthday party. If I end up missing it, too bad, because every time I'm in that dump, I can never think straight anymore, and whatever I say is just out of the blue. A lot of these unexpected sayings that nobody thought I would ever say, but it is what it is. And especially when you have the AC down, it's cause for more problems for me left and right, in general. So I just don't want to think about so many problems. I'm tired of venting to these guys, and some of them are just either they're not listening or they just don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do what's best for me. I'm gonna keep going solo, man. So once I did it, then it is what it is. I just need to do it. I don't want to deal with anyone right now. I don't want to deal with my own friends. I don't want to deal with, and especially with Mari telling me she's not going to talk to me for a while. Once again, causing another hurtful silence between us both. And, with these other guys, like, let them wonder. Let them. It's none of my business at this point. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So I'm going in solo mode. I'm finally going official, and I better just deal with myself, because I don't want to deal with any more friends. And it's what am I going to deal with, like, for them? Like, what am I having to miss out on? So let's just see how things go for the rest of this month. And I don't even know when I'm gonna bring them back. I don't want to even think about it. So I'm just gonna concentrate on being solo, away from my friend circle, and at this time. And who knows when that'll end for me. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I might get a little bit more into this tomorrow. It's clear to me I'm sleepy, but this time I'm able to maintain my my speaking. So yeah, dude. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Whoever watches this video, I'm just basically letting some of these guys know that it is what it is. I don't have anything against them, but some of them are just looking at me like I'm just a nobody. So I have to do what's best for me, and especially after what Julio said, the previous couple of Saturdays. This is what it's come to. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.